Welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for coming and welcome to the Public Television Workshop 102, brought to you by SIFTMedia 215 Collective. My name is Nadine Patterson and I'm one of your hosts tonight. The other host is Nikki Harmon. And we are so sorry that we're not able to bring you Sreedevi Sripathy, Director of Programming and Production at WHYY TV12. She is very, very sick. She called me this morning after 10 o'clock. She was coughing, y'all. She sounded horrible, but she was so apologetic and she really, really wants to help everyone understand the PBS system better. So she shared some notes with me and I wrote them down, you know, exactly what she said. So I'm going to give to you the Cliff Note version of her presentation. And what I would like to do tonight is really hear from you to talk about your projects. If you have any questions, I am a filmmaker myself. I've had work screened on PBS locally, regionally, and nationally. And I will share with you some of my experiences. But the first thing I will do tonight is really get to her notes of what she wanted you, the regional filmmakers, to learn about what's happening at WHYY, the change in their programming, and how she really, really wants to get good content by the community of filmmakers that's out there to share with the region via WHYY. So first off, I'm Nadine Patterson, and I've been making films in Philadelphia for 30 years. I look young, but I'm really older than I look. And PBS, WHYY, it's actually the fourth largest market in the United States of America because we're situated south of New York, north of DC, in the middle of Delaware, New Jersey, and southeastern Pennsylvania. It reaches about 5 to 6 million people, its signal. It's huge, it's huge. And what I want you to remember is this, it's so important, it's so important. Start with what you have. She wants to see your films, even if those films are just an interview of a local business person going through, dealing with the COVID-19 pandemic and some B-roll of that person with some music at the beginning, middle, or end, that can get on PBS. As long as it's under 10 minutes, let me stress, short films must be under 10 minutes. It could be anywhere from 60 seconds to 10 minutes in length. And it will get played in prime time, meaning after 7 o'clock and before 11. That's amazing. Imagine. At this moment, I would like to open it up to the audience for questions, and then we'll go on to the next topic. Questions, anyone? Comments?
Josh asked a question, do they pay?
Yes, they do. Right now, I believe they pay approximately $300 for a half-hour segment. I think it's $150 for a short. They're looking to increase that amount. But we are very fortunate in Philadelphia because some other PBS stations actually make the filmmakers pay to be on the air. So this is a situation where it's a matter of getting a major funder to put more money into WHYY's acquisition program to pay more money. But yes, they do pay you. And the term of use, I believe, is 1 year, and they will broadcast it 1 to 3 times. But it depends on what your arrangement is with them, really. So it can be flexible. It can be flexible, but the pay rate is the same. It's $300 for a half hour at this point. Good question. Anyone else? Any questions? Do you have to work? This is from Rosa. Do you have to submit work made regionally? Rosa, so where are you from? I'm curious. And do you want to speak to us? Just give a voice to the question. Or are you able to?
I'm calling from Texas. I'm watching from Texas. I'm out in just east of Austin.
Wow. So do you have any connection to Philadelphia? Family, education, any connection?
I'm a Temple grad.
All right, that counts. That counts. Okay. Okay. So Rosa, I think, sure, try it. reach out to Sreedevi. What do you have currently that you would like to submit to her for consideration? Can you say any more about it, or you just want to, so it's up to you, because we will show her this. We will show her this recording.
I think we lost her.
Okay, caution, it may take a while for her to get back to you. She is a one-person department at this point. There's hopes to expand the department possibly in the future, but it may take her a week, 2 weeks, 4 weeks to get back to you. But know that she is going to respond, and she really is very, very interested in the work that you are doing. Okay. Any other questions at this point? Okay.
I think there was a question in the chat. Sorry.
Okay. Are they interested in series that are shorts?
Mhm.
Okay, that is from Patrice Escoto. Patrice, do you want to just give a shout out so we can hear your voice?
Hi. Yeah, I was
Hi.
wondering whether they were interested in, I have a series that I'm working on. They're like 2-minute shorts, but it's a series on the forgotten kings of Africa.
That sounds wonderful. Yes, please do send her 1 or 2 episodes in an email, send her a link. Again, if you're in that sweet spot of between 1 minute and 10 minutes, please send it to her. Send her a couple episodes. You know, they have a lot of children's programming. They also have a lot of educational programming, and she could fit, you know, a 1 or 2 minute piece in between those half-hour or hour-long programs. A lot of programs on PBS, like the British ones, they may run 45 minutes and not a full hour. A regular PBS hour actually is like 56 minutes, right? So you always have this little bit of wiggle room in between hour-long programming, or even with half-hour shows, they may run 26 minutes or 27 minutes. So definitely, I would say submit to her, tell her you were here tonight when you introduce yourself, and send it in. Definitely.
Okay.
That sounds really, really good.
Thank
That
you.
sounds good. Yeah.
Can I ask a question, Nadine?
Yes.
Have you heard of any partnerships for an impact plan or impact strategy? Like after they show your film, have you heard about any instances where they maybe moved it through one of their community programs or held a panel discussion about the topics presented in your film or anything like that?
Well, I've heard about national PBS series having an impact strategy with regional PBS stations. You know, when they did the abolitionist series a couple years ago, they had a segment on Frederick Douglass, and the lead actor in that, actually, he's a well-known actor, filmmaker. I forgot his name. Handsome man. He came to Philadelphia. There was a panel discussion. There were scholars. There was a lot of Black press in attendance, as well as community organizers and historians and educators. They had that down in their public space at 6th and Ray Street. So I'm familiar with that for national programs, right? That may have a local connection. Josh, I think that's something that as filmmakers, you should always put into your budget. I know for the film Black Ballerina, and which I was the outreach producer for, we had our own community engagement programs. We did not rely on HYY to set up screenings for us, but we did work with WHYY in terms of getting the film seen on national PBS through American Public Television. APT, once a year, every March, April, they review hundreds of films, and each individual PBS station votes saying, yes, I want to show it. No, I have no interest. And if you get, I think the number is 25 or more stations who are interested in showing your film, it will then be accepted into the American Public Television roster, and it'll go up on their satellite link in September of that year. So it's like April consideration, September satellite downlink happens, and then public TV stations then can show your film. Unfortunately, this is not a system that pays you a lot for your work. unless you sell it internationally. So basically, locally, you're offering your work for free via American public television. But the benefit of that is, like with Black Ballerina, it's screened on over 200 PBS stations around the country. And we ourselves organized local screenings for the film at International House, the Scribe Video Center, places like that. We had tried to get funding through the Pew for a regional impact campaign. We did not make it till the final round, unfortunately. I think it's something that all of us in the community together, we have to push for foundations to provide filmmakers funding for distribution, for community outreach, for the impact campaign. That's something that's really needed.
Yeah, I have a question.
Okay, hi.
My name on here is Dawn, but my name is Danelle. I was curious about, I'm just getting the exact. Yeah, I was curious about the letter of interest. Like, at what point in development is it best to obtain that? So would you use a letter of interest to find a producer to help you develop your project? Like, I'm kind of curious about the different ways that it could benefit you in your project.
So for me personally, I like to have my producers on board. I'm a producing director, so I produce and I direct, but I have Marlene Patterson and Martha Conley are the other producers on the project, along with Paris Moore. So I have my producers before I start sending out letters. In terms of, so the letter at this point went out after we received 2 grants. We received a grant through Scribe Video Center's program, Independence Media Fund. We received a $2,000 grant. So that's one local grant. And then we received a $100,000 grant out in Western Pennsylvania for the development of the series through a partnership with the Tull Family Theater. And so at the point that I requested a letter from HYY, I've been developing this project for 2 years, right? I created a sample trailer. I have a website page about the Lewis Latimer project. I have a treatment. I have a sense of the visuals. So when I talked to her over the phone about it, first I sent her an email introduction about the project. And mind you, I've known Sreedevi now for about 1.5 years, okay? And she's familiar with my work, right? Through SIFTMedia 215, through Hip Cinema, and just as a general filmmaker in the area. So it just takes time to cultivate, right? And so I sent her the letter at the point where I knew the audience that I want to reach. So I had a vision for the piece and I was able to communicate that to her. And when she got a feeling for it, she was like, okay. And it aligned with her purpose, which was to get out of the practice of showing what we call trauma porn of Black Americans just in slavery and period pieces, right? You know, she wanted to show the vastness of African American achievement, right? She wanted to show Black joy, right? We need Black joy, you know? We need to know about the inventors, you know, of the long-lasting carbon filament, of the ironing board, of the radiator, as Lois Moses told me. That was a Black woman who did that, right? And we're not taught these things in school. So the film is going to be artistic, but it also serves an educational purpose. So it's perfectly aligned with what she's doing at WHYY, hence that awesome letter of interest.